Hey everybody, it's your boy Devin's World back again with another album review. Today, we're going to be reviewing Don't Wait Till Sundown by KayNeS. KayNeS is a UK-based emo rap artist whose melodies and flows are reminiscent of some of your favorite emo rappers like Lil Peep and the Suicide Boys. In his recent album, Don't Wait Till Sundown, he takes to pen and paper to lay down his emotions, translating these feelings into many different styles of emo rap. Though this album is extremely well produced, it does suffer from lack of variety within the tracks themselves. Many of the songs repeat lyrics, rather than getting into new pockets and flows that have not been yet utilized. That being said though, I don't want to completely dunk on this album off the bat. It does have some very strong highlights, starting off with the opening track called Damaged Girl. This almost feels like an indie pop emo rap combo with extremely great vocals and production on this thing. The lyrics are super simplistic yet relatable to many, as lots of people try to make themselves engage in a relationship with somebody just as damaged as they are themselves. KayNeS kind of dives into this album head first, speaking to different themes of love, which carry on throughout the album. Overall, I was left very pleased with this opening track, and it really set up the rest of the album to succeed. Another highlight was a track called Snowfalls. This one I believe was released as a single, but I'm not completely sure. It does have a different album art in the album, so I think this may have been a single released prior to the album. However, this song was extremely strong. It's pretty lyrically short because this is one of the songs that repeats lyrics that were already used. On most of the tracks on the album where this occurs, I find it, kind of a bit lackluster because I was looking for a second verse, maybe with a little bit of a different flow. However, on this track, the beat has some really hard-hitting drums. The groove is great on the beat of this one. I was flowing through it. You kind of don't really notice that it repeats because there's also kind of a slight switch on the beat at the end. So I really wasn't left dissatisfied from this track because of the repeating. Some of them I was left that way, but this one I thought was really strong. And I actually think where, on the back half of this song where it repeats, I don't really notice it, and I actually think it's really good. So this one is kind of an exception to the rule that I found. Now this album's runtime is pretty short. It's only about 20 minutes in length. So the repeating in most of the songs doesn't get to be too much, but it's more of a personal taste type thing. So if it doesn't really bother you, I think you're gonna really enjoy this album. Personally, I think the production on this thing is fucking kick-ass. It's hard to beat the quality of KayNeS, I will be honest with you. But yeah, I just think that KayNeS could have done more exploring into these themes, because when you're repeating, when you only have a set of 12 bars and you repeat it twice, rather than throwing in a different 8-bar sequence for your second verse and then finishing with a hook, there's some different unexplored themes there that you could miss out on. And I think that KayNeS has the talent to really delve into those things, and I just wish he would have. One song in particular that I was kind of like really hoping would have more variety was a song called Do I Impress You. The catchy hook on this thing, I was right in the beginning, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a great song, but then I found myself not really enjoying the second half of the song because the song is pretty long. It's about 3 minutes long. I say that's pretty long. That was a normal length a few years ago, but nowadays a lot of songs are 2 minutes to 2:30. I feel like for the most part is pretty common. So when you're at a runtime at 3 minutes on a song and you have a pretty long second verse and you're repeating basically the first verse, there's a really good chunk in there that could have been utilized for something else, and that's why I was disappointed. This guy is talented, KayNeS. He is talented. I've worked with him before. I know what he can do. He's proved it on this album anyway, even with the repeating. But his talent is just there. It's there, man. He's got an amazing voice for this shit, for this emo rap stuff. He has great beat choices. I loved all of the beats. I think he really killed it on that front. I was just disappointed because I wanted more from him. I think I expect more from him, and I think that this album, I don't know, man. I think it could have been an 8, maybe even a 9, 8 plus definitely, maybe a 9, if there was a little bit more variety. I do really enjoy the themes of this thing. There's a lot of talks about the intimacy in relationships. There's a lot of talk about the love within relationships. There's a lot of talk about the feelings within relationships, and those are the themes that I love. And the fact that he was able to slot these feelings into a more emo rap type style, I think is really interesting because you don't see that a lot. I think a lot of times in an emo rap track, where you have feelings of love that are integrated in there, you also see a lot of talks about, you know, drug use and this toxic kind of love, which I didn't gather that from this. This felt like an authentic kind of love from KayNeS. I just really think that he could have done just a little bit more. If he went the extra mile, I would have said this was definitely an 8+, maybe a 9. However, without that, I can only rate this album a 6.8 out of 10. I know it's pretty specific, but it's not quite a 7, and I think 6.5 is too low. So I'm gonna drop it right in there at 6.8 because I think that this thing's production is really strong, and I think its production and its beat choices carry it. Lyrically, it's strong on the moments where it's unique. However, it does lack in variety. That being said though, I still would encourage you to check out this album for yourself because my opinion is not the end all be all of all opinions. You may really enjoy this thing, and I think you should still definitely check this thing out. If you did enjoy this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I will see you next time.